So hello everyone, and we are back, Eleanor and I, my friend Eleanor. We have done our second week of the 5K movement, hashtag 5K movement. We decided to call it that, didn't we, Eleanor? Because we decided that we weren't sure how we were going to move, but we would make sure we moved.
That's right. The thought of a 5K run was quite frightening. And I thought, I don't think I'm going to be able to run it fantastic if I can, but I can definitely move it in some way.
So how did you get on this week?
Yeah, great, because I mixed it up a bit. I found that my shins were aching a bit and I've got an old ankle injury that was playing up, but it just didn't feel right. So this week I did a couple of bike rides interspersed with my walks, speed walking, and also I did swimming. So I'm trying to mix it up because I've been measuring my blood pressure and that's all going really well. I've seen that come down. And also I've seen my resting pulse rate has improved me, and also she felt that running is too high impact for me at the moment, so I've took all that on board and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm doing quite well because my limit is, or what I want to reach is 3K a day, and I've already done 25K according to my app, so I'm really pleased with that. So I'm still got 2 days of the week left. How about you?
That you're amazing, you are really, and you're obviously sending me your pictures every day, so that's the way we're keeping each other accountable. So it's just awesome.
I'm sure I'm just annoying you.
You're not at all. You're not. So every time I see them, I just know you've had some movement, and it's just awesome because that's what we want to achieve. So this week I haven't done so well because I was a bit silly and went all out as I do,
Yeah.
and I injured my hip. So I had a very sore hip all of the week. So whilst I have done some walks, I did quite a lot on Sunday. I did a big 3.5 mile walk with just Sam and the dogs. So whilst I wasn't power walking, we were out for a long time. And that morning I'd done a run. I did about a mile, just under a mile run. So that was a really good day Sunday, but then that knackered me for the rest of the week. So I had a couple of rest days this week, but this morning I went out early and I did, I think it was about 3.5 kilometers, Eleanor, I sent you the picture, I think. And I did 3.5 kilometers and I ran every single bit of it. So I am proper excited.
You are the champion. That's amazing. I bet you did. How did you feel after that? Did you feel?
Well, I felt great because I felt quite low this week, and we were just talking before we recorded this. Sometimes I think you have these weeks where you're not quite sure what it is specifically, but you're just actually really low energy and just not feeling that great. And that's my week's been a bit like that. And this morning, just getting up and doing that, and it was a real mindset thing, I'm telling you, because I've been doing sort of I'll run to that lamppost, then I'll walk scenario. And I decided actually I wasn't going to go to any lamppost. I was just going to keep running. So it's a real mindset thing.
Excellent.
So, and I felt great. I felt really pleased with myself, which I think is half the thing is how you actually feel about yourself. And then the other part I think was just the endorphins that I'd released on having that run. So yeah, super, really pleased, really, really pleased.
And do you find when you're moving, let's not say the term exercise anymore, because I really don't like the term exercise, and I like movement and positive things. Exercise always has that kind of connotation to it. You're going to hate it.
Yeah, so, I agree.
You think exercise, but movement and powerful thoughts and positivity is a lot better. So how do you think about things when you're moving? Because I know I do. I get lots of clarity and ideas come to me about business and about personal issues as well. And I love that because I'm like, oh, where did that thought come from?
I think you can be really creative when you're out and about, and just being outside in the fresh air, but just doing something that's actually not sitting at your desk or at your computer. I think you can suddenly become quite creative, and your mind's just allowed to breathe almost, isn't it? That's kind of how I feel. But I also listen to music, and one of my passions in life is music. So it's my moment and my time to just completely immerse myself in music, which I just absolutely adore. I sort of disappear into another world. So that's good. That's good for me, I think. Good for my mental health.
Yeah, lots of people listen to music when they move, but I don't. And I know my husband does, because he runs and he's very healthy and fit and does lots of things. He listens to music, but I must be quite weird because I don't. What I like doing is when I'm out and about, I'm real nosy. So the streets that I'm running around, I'm running, oh, look at her garden, or ooh. Look at her. So I
love that.
in other ways, or I'll be looking at people's cats and dogs and things, you know. So I guess that's my music.
Yeah, you're a people watcher, aren't you? And you know, I kind of like people watching a whole lot, but I tend to enjoy that when I'm just sitting having a coffee. So I have to be static to do the people watching stuff. Maybe it's just because I can't multitask, Eleanor.
No, I think I'm just naturally nosy.
But one of the things I thought was really wonderful about, you know, the fact we did this last week, we posted a video, I put it up on YouTube, and you've obviously shared it too, was the response we got. And I just thought, how amazing is that? The number of people who tagged in and said, gosh, I'd like to do this. Oh, I want to follow you. Isn't this brilliant? So I think there's a real need for this sort of stuff, Eleanor.
Yeah, well, we're a week in and please feel free to join us, because the more the merrier. And, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about this week, what I've learned from this week is, you know, okay, so I started out doing a 5K run thing, but it doesn't have to be a run. It could be anything you like, anything that you enjoy. Yes, you do have to push yourself a bit, but I've believed that it should be about relieving stress, not adding stress on to your life. So if you're moving, running, exercising, and it's hurting, or it's giving you stress, it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? It should be relieving your stress. And I guess that's my big takeaway for the week, that, you know, be kind to yourself while you're doing this. Is the whole point. We don't want to injure ourselves, you know, because that's kind of goes against what we're trying to achieve. I did weigh myself once, and I'd lost half a pound, and that really, I was like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. And then I looked at my blood pressure and thought, actually, that's a better measure. You know, how literally how full I am, not the scales, which will be thrown in the bin. I'm sure they're wrong.
Who needs scales? I don't even have scales, you see. I've just never had scales in my house because I find them depressing if I get on them. But I think it is about what your real goals are. So actually, you know, it doesn't have to be about you have to lose weight. It doesn't have to be that you have to run the 5K. It has to be that you move every day somehow, and actually you feel good about doing so. And that's kind of, I think, the philosophy, isn't it, of what we're trying to achieve.
Definitely, because once you start piling that pressure on yourself, you just stop. You just think, you know, I can't be doing this. And, you know,
I'll go and eat some chocolate muffin instead.
Yeah, or whatever. Or I'm not getting out of bed and walking down the road. What's the point in that? But actually, for the clarity and for how positive it makes me feel afterwards, all that sense of achievement, it's definitely worth it. So
yeah, I think so too. And one of the things we will be doing is there's a couple of guys out in the USA called Chris and Doug, and they've been doing this same thing actually for a few weeks, and I've been following them, funnily enough, but they did it all around weight loss. That was their choice. That was what they wanted to benchmark and keep themselves accountable to. They've kind of reached a point where I think Chris hit his goal weight. Doug saw our video on LinkedIn, and he said he wants to have a 4-person Zoom with Chris, Doug, you and I, where we could perhaps swap you know, our experiences of doing something like this. We might start a whole revolution of this stuff.
Brilliant. I'm definitely up for that, because I think it's really interesting, and it's good to show people that we all go at our own pace, our own rate. We all have different goals, different targets, and sometimes, you know, you reach a plateau and you see someone else and you compare yourself to them. And why? We're all on our, you know, excuse the pun, but we're all running our own race, aren't we? If you like, we're all on our own path, and we've got different body shapes and sizes and things in our life, so we're just doing our own things. When you see people do exercise programs or challenges, you always think, oh, I've not reached that yet, or I'm behind, or I'm ahead, and it can be really demoralizing, I think.
Yeah, you don't want it to have that negative impact, do you? But how amazing is this, that it's so aligned to business and life, and the fact that, you know, I talk about my UHP. You know, the fact that we're all so unique, and you've just summed it up right there, because we do have different goals. We do want to run our businesses for different reasons at different levels, and it's okay. We don't have to have this comparisonitis, you know, that we can suffer from. And it's easy to say, I know, but yeah, don't benchmark yourself thinking that's what you've got to do. Just think about, actually go back to that core stuff where, how do I feel about what I achieved? And boy, this morning when I'd run all that way without actually walking, I was euphoric, you know, because I knew it was a big thing for me. So
that's amazing. I'm so pleased that you had that experience, because, you know, I do feel we do judge ourselves against other people's criteria of what fit is, what all these different labels actually are, and you're like, hey, shouldn't I just do what feels really good for me? And you know, you've done that too, so brilliant stuff, Jules.
So another week of it for us. We're still on it.
So I'm looking forward to it. Swimming on Sunday. I am having a day off tomorrow. Well, I say a day off, I'm going Christmas shopping for Christmas fair, but now I'll be walking around for God knows how long, I'm sure. But yeah, so yeah, another week at it. I'm really looking forward to it, and hearing
me too.
Your progress too, Jules.
Yeah, I might even get my bike out this week. Who knows?
Okay, well, that's a piece of great copy from me.
Ta-da for now from me.